Now, sometimes it happens that your homeschool day gets a bit thrown afar. Like, for example, on Friday, I had this plan for us. However, my husband, we live on a farm. My husband is a farmer, and I had to help him a bit with some of the farm work. And because of that now, so the morning, we only could get through our Bible reading. We could get through, I've got two kids. We could get through our loop A. We did our maths, but then we couldn't continue. We had to stop for our loop B, for our literature, for our loop C, and our final ending of music. And so what happens is, when something like this happens, it doesn't matter if it's a Friday or if it's any other day in the week. What I then just do, what they recommend you do, you just basically continue there on for the next day. So I will do for my planning now. This is now for Monday for the next week. I'll just write Monday there. Then usually I start with Bible, and then on Monday after Bible I do a Aesop's Fable. The reason I do it like that is because these are very short. I got like what's that book here? Let me check it here. This is very, very inexpensive. It's like a very cheap, it's got like all Aesop's Fables in it. That's some water damage when we moved here. It's very short. You see there's no pictures in it. I don't particularly mind there having pictures in it. The idea is I just want us to get the moral or the value that's in the fable. I don't preach it. We read that on Monday and we read it on Wednesday again. I don't preach on it. We just basically, or don't make a lesson out of it. We just read it, and I have the kids tell me something that they recognize or that they think is important from the story. And so Monday we will do the Bible and the Aesop, and then we go to our loop A. Now this is now my youngest child. She's Monique, and then the other one is Ivanka. And then we go our maths loop. I write it for each of them, our maths loop. And then like I said, then we go on from there. So I have to get new lessons for the week for those ones, but then we just continue on for there. So I'll just basically just write that over. So for B, that will then be our art lesson. I think that was out of page. What page is that? I think it's 47. Yeah. Page 47. Then we do our literature. We'll probably finish with Hercules. Then we do our loop C. We do our outdoor walk. And then, usually on Mondays, we also have like in the Charlotte Mason cottage curriculum, they've got like a foreign language, but in South Africa, most people have got two languages. It's very seldom that you have someone that has just like one language. So my home language is Afrikaans. So the girls are doing school in English, but then for our foreign language, we'll basically just have Afrikaans. Also, if you were in a public school in South Africa, you would also have either your school will be an Afrikaans school or an English school, and then the other subject that you will be according to the government curriculum, you will then be required to then do the other subjects as your additional language. So then on Mondays usually I will have Afrikaans, and then I'll just check here. This is not like I would not recommend this book per se, because it's like the best one, but this is the one we got for free. So free, well, I suppose in most cases free is probably the best. So let me check here. Okay, so we finished with this, and then, which means we're going to go over to this page 47 then for next week. And so I'll just write in there Afrikaans, bladsy 47, and then our music. My daughter does piano. My oldest daughter does piano. So the Afrikaans is additional here. That was not what we had planned for Friday. But since our normal Monday is usually included, I have it now. And so what I just need to do is, now I just go and I fill in what are we going to do for our language arts for each child, what are we going to be doing for our maths for each child. Now, yeah, this will be just our regular planning then for the next week onwards. And then I'll continue with Monday, Tuesday I'll do the writing, Wednesday for the writing, Thursday and Friday. So that we basically have a new week that looks a lot like this. And once I'm finished with with something that I planned for the day, you'll see I just mark it through. Not a very fancy or complicated system, just very simple and straightforward. But it seems to work. And you know what? Sometimes simple, you see this simple cheapy book I got here? I think I got it for free as well. I think it doesn't cost that much. In any case, yeah, it doesn't even have lines or anything. It's just this simple cheapy one, and it works. Yes, so that's how we would then continue on with the system. We won't miss any subjects. We won't, like for example, we won't, because we haven't, we didn't do this on Friday, we won't skip our art lesson totally and then just start afresh in the new week with like with the same subjects again. No, we'll continue on from where we left off on Friday, and that way you never skip something, you never lose something. Like for example, we'll continue with our art lessons and we'll continue with our walking lessons.